I love what Liz Truss is doing in England.
The new British Prime Minister Liz Truss has laid out a terrific supply-side economic growth plan.
I am resigning as leader of the Conservative Party.
Conservative media propagandists are being completely exposed for the clowns they are following the collapse of Liz Truss in the UK. So Truss is now a former British Prime Minister who was forced to resign after just 44 days in power, the shortest serving Prime Minister in British history. And 10 of those days, by the way, they were on pause because of the Queen's funeral. So, but she was pushed out or had to resign because of her strictly conservative policies tanking the economy. So before I get to the first video here of these clowns, Liz Truss, the least popular UK Prime Minister in the history of polling. So this is what Larry Kudlow had to say about Liz Truss and her brilliant economic policies back on September 24th.
The U.S. midterm elections cavalry arrived early in London. What do I mean by that? Well, the new British Prime Minister Liz Truss has laid out a terrific supply-side economic growth plan, which looks a lot like the basic thrust of Kevin McCarthy's Commitment to America plan. Let's start with Truss. She is slashing tax rates and deregulating energy. I just love it. That's the liberal business media. This is wonderful. The liberal business media, you know what I'm talking about, is now trashing her plan. That tells me Truss has it exactly right.
Yes, Truss has it exactly right. Exactly right. In a sane world, that clown would lose his job and never be hired in media again because of how clearly wrong he was. So I'm going to get to another example of a loser in a second. But so Kudlow is also the director of the National Economic Council during the Trump administration. So focused on economic policy. This is what he likes. This is the person that he wanted to support. Well, this is what her policies did. So initially, and these were reversed because they were so terrible, because they tanked the economy. You had they wanted to cancel the rise of the corporate tax rate from that was going to be from 19 to 25%, and also the removal of the 45% top rate income tax for high earners, which, of course, mini budget here, shakes the stock market, benefits the wealthy. The new finance minister's tax cuts send the British pound to a 37-year low. Such brilliant economic policy, destroying the British economy. We got another example here. So I'm going to get to even more details on just exactly what the policies represented. But first here, this is Stephen Moore, former Trump economic advisor, again, going to how these people aren't just media figures, but are integral to the actual conservative movement. Stephen Moore, back discussing in September, discussing how awesome Liz Truss is.
There are some rays of hope. I love what Liz Truss is doing in England. I think it's exactly the right agenda of cutting taxes, reducing government spending, deregulating, moving back towards fossil fuels. It's exactly what the United States should be doing.
You're not seriously saying that Biden and the Democrats will cut taxes, lower regulation in the United States of America? They're not going to do that. They're going to do the exact opposite.
Not, except no, sir, you're right. They're not going to do it. But you know what? As your and my friend Larry Kudlow would say, the cavalry is coming.
The cavalry is coming. All right. So he said there, exactly the right agenda. Because who does the agenda help? The rich. This is why, whether it's Kudlow or Stephen Moore, why they're not going to lose a job, why they're going to continue being asked on to these shows or being brought into administrations for Republicans. Because they are tools of the rich. They have a job to do, and that's the job that they do. And they do it well. They protect the rich. They serve the rich. So even when these policies clearly fail and destroy the economy, it doesn't matter as long as they are there serving the rich. And on that point, here's an analysis of what Liz Truss's policies were all about. So from Al Jazeera, Joe Maham, director of the Good Law Project, tweeted the budget means that those earning $1 million a year will have £54,400 or 60,000 US extra in their pockets. The rich, those earning more than $1 million a year, will have an extra 60 grand in their pockets and that's after tax and national insurance contributions. For those earning £25,000 or $27,000 US, the equivalent figure is about only £280 or 300 American. Hard to imagine a worse response to a cost of living crisis. And also worth mentioning, the government's tax cuts are expected to cost £45 billion by 2026, 2027. So this is why these morons keep their jobs, keep getting invited into administrations, because it's all about serving the rich. It doesn't matter what the actual impact is on the rest of society. All it matters is, who is this serving? Is serving the rich? Okay, cool, we'll keep you in. But it exposes just their entire agenda, how completely empty it is.